Most of the members of the group are from scattered all over the place. The club is in Amherst, but actually our home quarters now is in Palmer. I think 78 was the first time the Beltlines group started doing layouts, but the club's been doing it since the 60s, the shows. Much smaller back then. So this is what we call modular railroading. Modules are built to a standard so they can connect to each other. There's special standard track spacing and standard wiring. So we can reconfigure it and lay it out for different sizes and different orientations. And it really kind of works out really nice to be able to be flexible like that. Means that most of the time we're not the same setup. I think we have 6 modules here this year. That's all that we have. I have 2 guys that work with me on and off to build modules. So I have my own trailer that I keep all the modules in. The club has a big trailer that we keep the club modules in. But so I think I built my first module in right around 2000. And we built another because we wanted to add some scenery or something. And we built another, built 2 more, built a corner. We've retired a few and rebuilt some more and stuff. So it's really just, you kind of decide what it is you want to model, and if you can't do it in where you add a module. Probably a lot of them are industrial because you want to see tracks for switching and stuff. But you'll see little rural scenes. You'll see the Smoky Mountain over here with all the snow scene and stuff. It really comes down to what somebody wants to do. Everybody has their own uniqueness and value. So since the trains are electric, they run off that rail conductivity. So we have to go around periodically and clean the track and stuff. We also have electrical issues every now and then. Somebody plugged a wire in they weren't supposed to, or unplugged something accidentally, or whatever. The trains keep running, we're happy. But if they do things we don't like, we work on it until we make it the way we want it again.
Our studio is outside of Chicago, near Michigan City, Indiana, northern Indiana, southern shores of Lake Michigan. And my wife and I are both the artists. Both of our work is here, and we've been at this for over 45 years now. We actually met in art school at the American Academy of Art. And of course, starting out, when a young person wants to go into the arts, you don't get a lot of encouragement necessarily that it's going to be successful, but you give it your all. We figured that if we could last a couple of weeks, maybe we can hang on beyond that. And we made it through the summer, and then the years started piling up. And so it's been over 45 years we've been doing this. And the thing that's really exciting in the art world is you never know what's going to come out of left field. And being contacted by Lucasfilm and George Lucas was a big surprise to us. George Lucas's right-hand man gives us a call and he says, I'm sitting here with George, we're looking at your website, we're really interested in your work. He had evidently seen some of our work in a show in Wyoming, and he really liked the trains. That's what intrigued me. He was really honing in. He really liked the trains, the railroad subject, and he liked the way I painted it. He liked the way I painted the smoke and the steam. So he said, do you think you could come up with a concept for me of a train that would fit into Star Wars? So, we bounced things back and forth, and I sent sketches to him, and we evolved ideas, and it's really interesting. He as in his own realm of art is so respectful of working with other artists, because he would make suggestions to change something or add something into a picture, like the droid's discovery, that piece over here we have. And he would say, I'm making a suggestion on this for a change, but you're the artist, so you have the final word on it. So you make the decision, it's your call. Which I thought that was really decent. That actually makes it easier to work with somebody, to be that flexible with not taking the artist over as a brush, but using their creativity and then propping it up and working with it. So he owns, between my wife and I, he owns 9 of our paintings now. He has them at his Skywalker Ranch collection. Things like that come from any direction that enhance the art world that we're in. And you know, with over 45 years raising our 6 children solely on our artwork, it's been, we figure, a great blessing to us. Many of the pieces are commissioned pieces that are recalls of individuals' own experiences or our experiences, and we'll travel to a lot of different places around with their railroad museums, or they operate some equipment, or they're doing restoration, or they have equipment on display. Sometimes there may be a piece that's on display in a museum, and then we'll try to put that into a painting, come up with a composition of where did this locomotive run, and people are sticklers a lot of times. If they'll hone in on a picture. Now, that train ran in such and such a place at certain times of the day. So a lot of that information has to be accurate. It's like the picture there of Homeward Bound with the man standing at the counter there. I had somebody commission me one. I did that painting, sold that. Somebody liked that. They commissioned me to do one with and put them in the painting with his wife and his kids waiting to board the train. And he had me put a clock hanging down from the top with a certain time that related to something to his experience and his travels or whatever. But all kinds of stories. All these pictures have stories of their own, you know. My wife and I ran our own gallery for 34 years in Gloucester and Rockport, Massachusetts. But I had trains also that were in the gallery. People said, you know, you might really be interested in connecting with the Amherst show and this event every year. And they liked the artwork. It was different enough that they said, we want to push you ahead, so we're going to try to get you in there with the next event coming up. So we became part of this, and we enjoyed it. We met a lot of interesting people, and this has been an ongoing show that's been quite a few years in progress. And so we're happy to tap into all the railroad and art spirit that's here. And we always meet new people and see a lot of friends that we haven't seen in a year and reconnect.
We're the G-gauge component of the Mohegan and Pequot group. The layout you're looking at is 36 feet in width and 56 feet in length. We have a centralized rail yard inside the layout. Components are owned mostly by the club. Trains are owned by individual members. Scenery is provided by individual members. Decorating is all done by individual members in the group. I manage most of the logistics of getting everybody up here and set up. Scale compared to other scales you may see at this show, this is approximately 1/24th scale. Compared to 1/87th, that would be an HO, or 1/47th an O gauge. I think it's more of a proportional thing. It's how one views what's fast and what's not. I mean, if you look at any of the other layouts, they're running to somewhat of a speed that either the operator's comfortable with, or it's a scale speed depending on the size of the layout. The speed on this is basically it's operator controlled. Some will run them slower, some will run them faster. It's not necessarily to any prototype railway. This, because of the massive size of this, it just looks like things are moving faster. That's the whole thing. We'll roll in on a Friday, spend roughly 6 hours setting this up, testing it for the start of the show today. It means renting a truck, unloading a storage unit full of the modules, individual members bringing the trains, individual members bringing the scenery. Keeping everyone in contact with each other at this time. Kind of laying out what we're doing, when we're doing it. Even after this, come tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock, we got to dismantle it, put it in a truck, take it back to the storage unit. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of movement with this as far as people movement and help. This year we brought back the trolley line that's running in the back end of the layout here. We've been noted mostly for our scenery that we put together, the scenic vignettes that we set up on the layout. I'm amazed at what we do with the time we have to do it. Some of it is, we've done it for a long time, we know the routine. But even that, it takes, you still got to organize it. Everyone's getting a little older, so you got to be a little more sensitive to, to how many guys it takes to put this thing together. Next show would be at Cheshire High School on March 1st in Cheshire, Connecticut. And then we're pretty much done for the season. Everything gets put away, things start to get worked on for the fall season again. But this is the biggest show that we work on.